James Brown once sang, "It's a man's world." Thankfully, the times they are a-changing. More women are leading and speaking up. The Me Too movement has taken hold, and by and large, for the first time, men in positions of power are being held accountable for their actions. But where do men stand? How do they feel about it? Well, for the first time ever, Canada's leading women's lifestyle magazine has posed some important and at times provocative questions to men.
I honestly didn't know about sex until I was like 13 or 14. Kind of embarrassing.
I remember my dad being sort of worried that when he finally got around to talking to me about wet dreams, I'd already heard about it from some kid on the school bus.
Too much of my bad sexual education came from pornography.
I learned how to do it off the internet.
We commissioned a survey of 1,000 Canadian men from coast to coast between the ages of 25 and 65, and we asked them all sorts of questions about what it's like to be a man in 2018. And that sort of harkened back to what they learned about masculinity growing up, what they thought it meant to be a man.
I thought it meant to be Chuck Norris, because that dude could beat up a lot of people.
Martial arts movies.
With Ricard, with John.
We talked to men about work and how being a man has factored into their professional lives.
I don't think there's any question that, unfortunately, it's an advantage.
It's definitely benefited me.
I'm sure it has benefited me.
And we asked men about Me Too and some of the difficult conversations in that space as well.
There's this unfair expectation that we need to have it perfect like that, and none of us are perfect.
I don't know what I should be doing. I'm worried that something I might do might add fuel to the fire.
We overthink this. Every man should be a good person. It starts from being a good person.
Chatelaine is owned by City News' parent company Rogers, and it releases a survey each year, though this is the first time their survey has been male-focused.
How important is it that men are at the table and that they are part of this conversation?
I think it's essential.
The Chatelaine survey also asked men how they felt when women talked about the pervasiveness of sexual harassment. 25% said they felt nothing, 42% felt sad, though 9% felt persecuted, while 5% said they felt guilty.
I always say it's not about the day of our reckoning, it's an opportunity for the day of our awakening.
Jeff Pereira has spent the last decade as a masculinity speaker, taking the stage at multiple TED Talks.
For the men and young men in this world and in your life, what is the point of no return?
Pereira says he hopes this survey pushes the boundaries for more frank, hard conversations that aren't defensive, but proactive.
I always find throughout my years doing this that when you create a space for men to talk, they're really hungry to have a space to talk about this stuff. Because we as men, we drop our opinions all the time, but the point is, like, how often do we really let down our armor and really have a vulnerable, real conversation about our hopes, our fears, the pressures we feel?
To see more of these surveys' findings and to watch the full video series, which includes Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and Raptors President Masai Ujiri, just go to citynews.ca or chatelaine.com. I'm Adrian Ghobrial for City News.